Once upon a time, in ancient Korea, there were three birds who lived together in the trees. One was a pheasant, the other was a dove, and the third was a scruffy magpie. They spent their days idly chatting on their branches, feasting on the fruits of the trees and the grains of the grass. It was an easy life, and they thought it was peculiar that the other animals worked so hard all the time. Daily, a busy little mouse would scamper under the tree, carrying a seed or a nut or a bite of rice. He would bustle by the birds, barely sparing them a glance. The birds would call down to him, already laughing. "Busy, busy little mouse," called the pheasant. "Why don't you come relax with us for once?"
"Look at that little scamp," said the dove. "Always so serious. Never seems to have any peace."
"I can't believe it," said the magpie. "What a solemn fellow! Mouse, you! Why don't you just take it easy for once?" The mouse didn't stop running, but he called over his shoulder, a fat berry in his paws. "For once? That's all you do is take it easy! I relax after my work is done. You should do the same."
"Don't tell us what to do, you miserable killjoy," said the dove. "If I were any bigger, maybe I'd eat you for dinner."
The mouse gave a little eep and ran faster, nearly tripping over his own tail. The birds laughed again, and so it went, day in and day out, until it didn't. One long summer, there was a terrible drought. The rain refused to fall, the rivers slowed to sluggish streams, and the ground dried and cracked like burnt toast. What little food managed to grow was gathered quickly by the busy animals, and very soon after there wasn't a bite left to find. It was a hard time, and many of the animals were getting a little desperate. In particular, the pheasant, the dove, and the scruffy magpie. "I'm so hungry my stomach isn't just rumbling," said the pheasant. "It's shaking my belly button clean off." The dove laid across a nearby tree branch, plucking at the dry, leafless bark.
"I'm so hungry I'd eat the barnacles off a whale's back."
"Do you know any whales?" asked the magpie. She was sitting on a thin limb, licking a dried gourd.
"Afraid not," said the dove. "But if I did, I'd eat some barnacles. How about you? Do you know anyone with some food?"
"Nope," said the magpie, shaking her scruffy head. "I guess it's time to fly away and find a new place to live." "Wait," said the pheasant, sitting up suddenly. "We all know someone with food." She looked at her friends, who just blinked back at her. "That busy little mouse! He was collecting food all year.
He must have a house full."
They all cheered in agreement. Of course the busy little mouse had food. And they were all friends. They talked almost every day, after all. He'd be sure to share. "I'll just go and get some food from the little runt," said the pheasant. "Come on, get your appetites ready, friends." The pheasant went flapping through the dry, thirsty forest, and the other birds got in formation behind her. All around them, the dead, bare trees reminded them of their empty stomachs. The pheasant's own belly growled menacingly as she landed by the big, crooked tree the mouse called home. "Mouse! Hey, you! Mouse!" She leaned in close to a hole nestled in the roots. "Hey, little mouse, all clean and thorough. You've got food stashed in your burrow. I'm much bigger and tougher, too, so I'm gonna get some food from you. FOOD for me. Give me some of your food." From way deep inside the burrow, the mouse called back, "No! You made fun of me all year and made my walks miserable." "Oh, come on now," said the pheasant. "It was just a bit of fun. Can't you take a joke? Give me some food." "It wasn't a joke to me," shouted the mouse. "So no, I won't share. Just go away." That's it, you little twerp! I'm getting that food! The pheasant jammed her beak into the busy little mouse's burrow, sending loose dirt spraying into his clean little home. Ah! Get out, get out! Cried the little mouse, backing away from the terrifying beak in his doorway. Give me food! Snapped the bird, digging closer. The little mouse grabbed a burning log from the fire, swinging it wildly as the hungry beak inched closer. With luck, he got the pheasant on one cheek and then the other in a spray of cinders. The bird crowed in pain and backed out of the burrow. Her cheek still burning, she turned and flew away to find some food. And this is why pheasants still have red cheeks to this very day. The dove and the magpie watched what happened with wide eyes.
"The pheasant was driven away," said the dove, "by that tiny rapscallion mouse."
"Didn't it seem like she maybe deserved it?" asked the magpie. "She went a little wild there."
"Wild? Wild? I'll show you wild." The dove flapped down from the trees and landed by the mouse's front door. "Mouse, listen up, you little ingrate." He leaned in close to the hole nestled in the roots. "Hey, little mouse who thinks he's tough, you've got food and I'll get rough. I'm much smarter and stronger too, so I'm going to get some food from you. F-double-O-D for me, give me some of your food." From way back inside the burrow, the mouse called back.
"No! You made fun of me all year and made my walks miserable!"
The dove flapped his wings indignantly. "Well, I never! It was just some teasing. Where is your sense of humor, you cad?"
"This was never funny to me!" shouted back the mouse. "Now leave me alone! You didn't bother to get any food, so now you can go and fly off and find some. It's no problem of mine."
"No problem of yours? No problem of yours?" screeched the dove. "I'll make it your problem, you greedy little furball!" Like the pheasant before him, the dove drove his beak into the mouse's burrow. The mouse was ready this time and leapt forward with a shout.
"By my whiskers, you'll never have my food!"
he cried, and brought down his fire poker like a warhammer on the greedy bird's head. The dove squawked and wriggled away, shaking free of the dirty roots. The mouse raised the fire poker menacingly, and the dove stumbled backwards further. His head already bruised blue, he turned and flew away to find some food. And this is why doves still have blue heads to this very day. The magpie was alone now, watching the little mouse with sad eyes. The mouse was right. They had been mean to him all year. She just hadn't seen it. The magpie thought of all the times they'd talked and laughed and realized the busy little mouse hadn't been laughing with them. In fact, he had never so much as smiled, not even once.
"Oh, no," she said. "We're bullies."
And her friends had gone and kept acting like bullies, even when they needed help. It's no wonder the busy little mouse reacted the way he did. He deserved better, and the magpie resolved to give it to him.
"Mouse, please excuse me. A moment of your time."
She leaned in close to the hole nestled in the roots.
"Hey, little mouse, so well prepared. I know that we've never really cared, but you were right and we were wrong. So I'm saying sorry with this song. S-O-R-R-Y, say I. Maybe we can be friends?"
From way deep inside the burrow, the mouse called back.
"Friends? Really? This isn't another one of your, super funny jokes?"
he asked sarcastically.
"No, I promise," said the magpie. "We came to you when we wanted food, and my friends were still rude, even when they needed your help. I'm sorry we teased you. You didn't deserve that, and I'm sorry it took a drought for me to realize. You were just being careful, and it turns out you were right."
"Thank you,"
squeaked the mouse, eyes wary as though still expecting a trick.
"Is there anything I can do to make it up to you?"
asked the magpie. The mouse paused and thought for a while, but decided there was only one thing he really wanted.
"Well,"
said the mouse,
"I could use a friend."
He paused for a moment, his whiskers twitching.
"Do you want to stay for dinner?"
"I do, if you can forgive me," said the magpie.
"I do, if you can remember to be nice."
And they both agreed, and the magpie fixed the burrow while the mouse cooked, and they had a wonderful dinner. And this is why magpies still gather lots of food just in case to this very day. Because they learned from a very busy and prepared little friend. The end. Thanks for listening.